This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans, and this is the League of Ireland review, match day 16. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and of course this is your weekly roundup of all things League of Ireland. Before we get started, please do not forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button right there, right now. Otherwise, Conor, what happens, Conor?
Martin disappears.
I mean, that's not. I mean, we want to encourage people to follow the channel. No, that's. I don't mean that. I probably do mean that, actually. But yes, I am back, by the way, after a little bit of a time away from the last live, which you can capture on the you can watch on the YouTube archives here. But yes, please do subscribe to the channel. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. You can head over to lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. We can also get an audio version of this podcast. And Conor doesn't want me to say, but we had a couple of audio issues with the podcast. They are now fixed. I'm sorry, Conor. I'm just mannerful.
Stop shooting yourself in the foot. People don't even know.
Well, they probably go, where was my last episode of Lansdowne? I do actually get people that text me. And thank you, by the way. Text me, send me private messages and go, where is the audio version of this? And actually, James, shout out to James, one of our writers, he actually was stuck in the traffic on the M1 and said, can you please upload the audio version because I'm stuck in traffic and I want to listen to something. And I went, you know what? I'm sorry. It didn't go up. And I went and I put it up. You are. So there you go. Welcome. League of Ireland review. Match day 16, not 17. 16, and we'll get to that in a second. Conor, how are you? It's been a bit of a mad weekend for the League of Ireland, making headlines all around the world of football for strange reasons, which we will also get into.
Yeah. It was actually. I was at the physio earlier today, and I don't think the physio is a League of Ireland fan, but he had mentioned to me anyway what was he doing with that certain incident last Friday night up in the hill. But yeah, it was another mad weekend of League of Ireland action on Friday, on Monday.
Yeah,
as I've said to you, the madness of the League of Ireland is normalised at this stage. It's more mental when we go through a full weekend of literally no craziness, because it is the craziest league in the world. Like, there's something mad happening at all times, but it's why we love it, and it's why we like to talk about it and laugh at each other because of it.
Yeah, it is crazy. Still open. Still a, nothing seems to be getting still early days in it yet, and the league is still absolutely wide open, as you can imagine. Of course, we're going to do our usual. We're going to go through all the results, talk a little bit about those games, and then we're going to go into the league table. And actually, so Friday night results, round 16. Bows beating Shelburne at home. We're going to talk about that in a second. Drogheda 1-1 draw at home to Derry, dropping more points. Galway United lost 1-0 at home to Sligo. Fantastic win there for Sligo, actually. St. Pat's made it tough for themselves in a 3-2 win over Cork City. And, of course, Waterford losing 3-1 at home to Shamrock Rovers. And, of course, the big talking point of the first game there, Bows against Shelburne, was this man here, Damian Dove, serving his touchline ban, standing on a grassy knoll. I think he tried to cover himself up, which didn't work, as you can tell, and he was overlooking his team's 1-0 loss. Conor, I mean, as you said, it's just another week in the League of Ireland, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no problem at all with him being up there getting a good view of the pitch, probably getting by himself, that he doesn't have people in his ear roaring at him or telling him what to do if he was in the stand, or hearing fans right on top of him, or Bows fans laughing in his face. But yeah, I have no problem. The gear he had on was a bit funny in terms of he trying to hide himself. He looked like a funny character like that, and the old, whatever it was, an old clubhouse chair sitting on the grass. And I get it. It's the way the League of Ireland is. It looked a bit rough around the edges where he was sitting up on the hill, you would say. And then it got to, I know, not reflecting Friday's game, he said about Monday. He said in his pre-match for their game against Drogheda last night, about how it was an embarrassment for a league, how that was put up on social media about him up on that thing, which I think is, he knew he was going to get photoshopped, no matter what he's saying, that he was going to be up on that. And as I said to you when I was at the physio earlier, people didn't think it was a bad thing. They just thought it was funny, and they thought it was the beauty of the League of Ireland, him being up there. And I think he's more embarrassing himself by saying that it was an embarrassing moment for the league. It's not embarrassing at all. I don't think it was a bit of crack. He put himself up in there. He knows he was getting right in the limelight by doing that, and maybe he thought because the loss of the game, it might have took a bit of attention off the players, which it probably did, to be honest, Dave. If you probably, I don't know if you think the same, but yeah, he's a funny character, but it's probably why we love him.
Yeah, I mean, what did he expect? I mean, there's probably more of an indictment on the facilities at Derry Park. I could see now the email app, the text message that's coming my way from that. But you said, like, there's nowhere ready for him to go. I suppose. I mean, I say that, but there must have been somewhere in Derry Park. Like,
but I think the thing is, there would have been, but I don't think there was anywhere to the extent that he could be by himself, really, without having people on top of him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think Bose and Shells would have to facilitate that themselves. And Duff probably said to him, just get me as far away from people as possible, that I have a good vantage point of the pitch. And the thing is, great. Look at that. It was a great view of the pitch, and it's probably the perfect view. He had his seat. He got to sit down, but I don't know if he done much roaring or screaming or shouting from up there, or he let the rest of the coaching staff do so, because it's not like he was that far away from the pitch, was he?
No, do you know what? I think if he owned it, like he's obviously wearing a hat, he's wearing a scarf, and I don't know, was it? I mean, I don't think it was that cold there that night. I know Dublin can get a bit cold. I mean, there's lads there wearing short sleeve shirts. Well,
it wasn't cold at all. It was
no, exactly. I think if he just sort of owned it and just because he's got a chair in front of him. I don't know if that's maybe. I imagine that's a chair he gave him. Just sat down in his thing and he went, "Yeah, I'm here, lads," and just had a bit of crack with it. I think if he had just done that and owned it, I think it would have been a lot better. But he's kind of drawing more attention to it. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
like,
he does. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he knew it was going to get attention. I don't know why he's even saying it's embarrassing. He could have said, "Oh, I prefer." I thought it might have got photoed up there, but he knew what he's doing. He knew he was going to get attention, and it's just what Duff is like. And I know if you've seen Dave, but I think it made a bit of news today that I know you're on with the indictment of Daily Mind facilities, but whilst it's getting done up, I think it's looking like Bose could end up playing in the RDS or Richmond Park even for the season. I don't know if it could be 18 months, whatever it'll take to get it done, but that would be interesting. I seeing Bose playing the RDS, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's mad how they just share all the stadiums, and they
facility, but that's a big problem with Ireland. In Ireland, you have facilities aren't shared enough, and between GA and football together and rugby, there should be a lot more shared facilities. I think even when you look at Derry at the moment, training in Owen Beg at probably the best GA training ground in the country, and they're getting realistically they're getting world class facilities and what they're doing at the moment until they get their own training base. And it shows to me that these organizations can work together and they can all benefit each other. The GA is getting a payday out of Derry City training there every day of the week, and then Derry City is getting to use top class facilities, which shows I think there should be a more of a, I don't know,
corroboration.
I'm getting too late at night, Dave.
It is late here, folks.
To get all sports next level in the country, but that's my little rant on that.
No, I agree. I mean, I was actually talking to somebody today about Ireland. It's a bit mad. Certain things work, certain things don't. But anyway, it's a bit personal. But and yeah, just like for such a small country, we develop world champions in so many different disciplines and different codes and different sports. It's incredible. And then you look at the guy and the rugby and the football, and you think, it's just if we just cooperate a little bit more. And I don't know what it would take to do that and who needs to sit down, but yeah, like we everyone can win. We can all benefit here. and just share a little bit and have some world class facilities. But anyway, that's a discussion for a whole other day. But of course, Bows doing the business against Shelbourne there, and of course Shelbourne were down to 10 men. Dale Rooney with a penalty in the 36th minute. Mark Hall sent off on the 34th. And was there another player sent off as well? Was there two sendings off?
Yeah, there's two sendings off.
Alistair Coote as well on the 83rd. Yeah. So
I think
down to 10.
Was Joey O'Brien sent off then on the sideline as well?
He probably was. I don't have that on my thing here. So Bows, Bows again, man. Like just quietly going about the business, going up that table there. But a fantastic win for them. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? There was people talking about how the manager was in trouble, and there they are. And they're right back in this title race. And it's fantastic for them. And of course, the next game there is wrong one. Next game there, oh my God, I am having a nightmare. Drogheda United 1-1 draw at home to Derry. Let me get my information up there on that one. Technology just does not want to work for me today. Drogheda, of course, taking the lead with Alicia Ayua. I'm probably butchering that, am I? Alicia?
Chui, I said. I don't know how you actually say it properly, to be honest.
Well, anyway, he scored. He gave the lead, and of course, Dom Thomas on the 90th minute, getting a very last-minute equaliser for Derry City. Derry again, another draw for them. But Drogheda will be disappointed with that, of course. They have aspirations of a championship. And they've dropped more points again, Drogheda.
Yeah, that's probably the toughest moment of Drogheda's season at the moment. But thing is, the toughest moment for them this season isn't even that tough in general. Drogheda terms of the last whatever years it's been with them in the Premier Division, it's still been an outstanding season for them. They were very unlucky, in fairness, to draw that game the other night. I know I didn't manage to see that game, but from everyone I've spoke to about it, Drogheda were the better team, and Derry were blessed to get the point away from home. But no, it's not in the grand scheme of things. It's not a terrible result for Drogheda to draw with Derry, and it's not a terrible result for Derry to go and draw with Drogheda away from home, because it's a very tough place to go. And I think both teams will probably be. I think Drogheda obviously would be very annoyed with conceding a last-minute goal, but it's not a season-definer draw, you would say, in that context. And I think both moves on. I know Drogheda have played since, but I think Derry will probably be glad of what they got, and I know they're still right in the title mix as well. Like, it's not affected I don't think it lost at this stage of the season would, but at least they're picking up points and keeping the whole thing grooving, which they're in quite good form at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. Next one there, of course, Galway United lost 1-0 at home to Sligo Rovers. That was a bit of a blow there for Galway, but very important win there for Sligo. They get the first win in 5. Yeah. So fair play to them. Away from home also.
Derby, yeah.
Yeah. I always forget that. Like,
it's because you wouldn't think, you'd always think it'd be more Mayo would be rivalry with Galway, wouldn't you, and stuff like that. But or even Mayo more rivals with Sligo at the same context. I know a lot of people I know from Sligo don't like people from Mayo, but there's no Mayo FC isn't in the Premier Division yet to get that rivalry started yet. But no, I've seen it has been a real rivalry picking over the last couple of years with Galway and Sligo. And it's what we want in the league. We need them. Like, you have your Munster Derby, and then now you have your Connacht Derby really picking up heat. And I think it's the best thing for the league is the fact that Sligo picked up that win against Galway. It now puts them back in a position where they're able to not get, I don't think you'd say they got trusted to the bottom of the league and they're never going to get away from there and stuck there for the whole season. But they're looking like they could easily win a couple of games in a row, and then they're right back in the swing of things and maybe get themselves without even being in a relegation battle. But I'm sure we'll expect them to be in at that come the end of the season. But you never know in this league. And yeah, it's probably a very disappointing result for Galway, who are looking to probably establish themselves getting back in the title race. And now it seems to be there's a lot of ground for them to make up between them and Shamrock Rovers at this stage of the season already. But I'm kind of glad Sligo won that game, to be honest, because I want everything tight as possible, and then it'll go down to the last day of the season, or maybe 5 teams could get relegated, depending on results or something like that.
I will say though, this week it's starting to see a little bit of light.
Yeah,
a little bit of light now between, like, it's starting to. Now we've been talking about a week in, week out, like where it's so tight. We're starting to see a little bit of light now, a bit of separation, and it's starting to take shape finally. But it's taken a while to get to, which is brilliant, by the way, fantastic. St. Pat's, my team, 3-2 winners over Cork City, who now find themselves in a spot of bother, but they didn't make it easy for themselves. Pats, I mean, they were 1-0 up. Mace Amelia doing the business again. All of a sudden, 1-1. Charlie Lyons. Then 2-1 down. Shani Maguire. God, you remember him. Then El Baswetti, 89th minute equaliser. And then Jamie Lennon, 95th minute winner for Pats. A much needed win for them. But of course, they have played since Conor as well, Pats. But, we tipped Pats. Well, I tipped Pats anyway. I'll own up to it, even if you won't. I tipped them for a title charge here, and
we all did. We all thought they were going to win the league, and quite comfortably, to be honest, this season. We thought they were going to be the team to beat, and that they were going to continue their unbelievable run from last season and this year. And they've really flattered to deceive it. To be honest, at all, Dave. Even when they're winning games like the Cork game, it's not like they're playing well. Or obviously they do play nice football at times, but they never look like they're a sort of team that's constantly battering down the door of getting chance after chance, which they're not really doing that much. Like, they keep a lot of possession, is good, but you expect so much more from this past team, especially how they done last year. We've seen them at their best last year. They strengthened in the summer, and Chris Forster is injured now, and Ramel Palmer is injured now, but like, you think that you'd expect so much more of this Pats team, and especially when we go on to talk about Monday night's game, it was a disaster. Like, usually when you get a 96-minute winner, you think that will push it on, even if you're playing poorly. But I think it's more of a reflection how poor they've been as of late. Is that it's finally coming, bit them back in the arse on Monday night with what happened to Tala. But I'm sure they'd be glad they got the win against Cork anyway. Like,
I mean, it's 3 points, but I mean, Cork, second bottom of the table. Spoiler alert, second bottom of the table. You should be beating them. Should be putting, if you're anyway serious about a title charge, you should be putting in those lads to the sword. I mean, poor side, this team. I mean, they've had first casualty, managerial casualty of the season as well. And just spluttering, I should say, past Cork City. So no, not good for them at all. And of course, we're going to talk about their game on Monday night. But before we do that, the last one to talk about on Friday, of course, was Waterford at home. 3-1. They lost to Shamrock Rovers, who you have to admit now are starting to really, really put a nice bit of form together. Shamrock Rovers. Of course, I mean, they did go behind. Pádraig Amond on the 10th, and then Rory Gaffney on 25th. Michael Noonan does it again. And, not Michael Noonan also, considering his personal challenges, not him personally, I suppose, but his, obviously news about his father. And he's just putting his head down, getting on with football. And Graham Burke, of course, with the icing on the cake in the 93rd minute, making it 3-1. I mean, quite dominant looking at the stats here. I didn't have as much possession as Waterford, but 13 shots, 5 on target, as opposed to Waterford's 9 shots and 1 on target. And they are looking now that they are a serious team for this title race, Shamrock Rovers. I know I can see the text message. It's coming my way, but we have to call it as we see it, especially with what we're going to talk about after this match.
Yeah, they're going to win the league, aren't they? Yeah, I think they are. I think they're going to win the league.
I didn't say that.
I don't want to say that. I think you probably said they are the favourites now. Obviously, the summer transfer window is opening very soon, and I can see Pats and Shells probably trying to invest heavily, because there is a title there to be won this season. Whether people think Rovers are going to win or not, Pats and Shells will probably think they're 1 or 2 pieces away maybe from capturing a title. Rovers still have Europe to go for, which you'd hope that the fact that they're going to be seeded the whole way through the qualifiers, even not as champions, will hopefully push them into a group seat again, or get them to even the final round of qualifying. And sad to see John Coleman's winning start as a Waterford manager has come to an end. But I think Waterford couldn't keep winning forever. Like, they were on such a good run, even when Matt Lawler was in as interim manager, and Padraig Hammond, even at his age, just scores week after week. But yeah, it's great to see Michael Noonan doing so well after what he's been through over the last couple of weeks, and it shows what class he has as a footballer and what he is like as a human being himself. It's the fact that he can avoid all distractions and just focus on football, really, and making sure that he's doing his best for his club and for his team. And I'm sure we'll start talking about the results on Monday now after this. But yeah, and Graham Burke again on fire. But yeah, Dave, we could probably talk about that game now just to
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Shamrock Rovers battering Pats 4-0 in the Tala Stadium. Really, really, as we were talking about, looking in ominous form at the moment. So we were talking about it, Conor, off air. So it's not match day 17. This, in fact, according to Google, looking at it here, this is a fixture, same as Shelbourne and Drogheda, from match day 24.
Yeah.
So that would go with what you were saying, that this is obviously to give these guys a break in Europe when the European games are on, so they're getting the fixtures done now, which I think is a great thing, actually. And then if you look down throughout the season, and then match day 25, it will happen again on the 16th of June. Pats will play Shells, Drogheda will play Shamrock Rovers. So those 4 teams are all obviously in Europe to play, and I've got a couple of windows there where they do that. So that's why this is match day 16, and 17 is still match day 16, technically 24 as well. So I hope that makes a bit of sense. But yeah, Michael Noonan again, 22nd minute, Grainburg 36.50 at Angry 69th. Rovers, yeah, just doing the business. The Pats are on Pats. I mean, really disastrous result there. They lost. They spluttered against Cork City. They've lost a bit of ground in the league, and you think, right, if you're serious about a title charge, you're going to go and get a result. You're going to get something off Rovers, and they got swept aside by a team that starting to look a little bit of room at the top, even though they have played an extra game.
Yeah, we're starting to see the real Rovers shining now. The Rovers maybe that we've seen in Europe is kind of the way probably best describing it, how well they've been doing as of late. Graham Burke has been out of this world, really. We're seeing a prime Graham Burke strutting the stuff in the League of Ireland, like picking up the 2 goals there, and then obviously scoring against Waterford. Noonan again was excellent up front, movement brilliant, and never stops working hard. And I know Joe Nang was absolutely shocking for Noonan's first goal coming flying out of his box, but it was still a good finish. And he probably would probably be disappointed about Graham Burke's first goal as well. And
yeah,
it was a terrible night for St. Pat's. Like, I don't know what is going on. I know the defense is quite weak at the moment. They're conceding quite poor goals, and you can't make excuses for a keeper making mistakes like that.
Lost 3 out of last 5, Pats, and Rovers have won 4 out of last 5.
Yeah, it seems to be a real struggle to get their foothold in the middle of the park with as well. And I know Kenny went to a 3 at the back last night. It didn't really work. I know the thing is, you might say, oh, yeah, it might have worked, and then Joe and I made that mistake, and then made kind of 2 mistakes, and that was 2-0 like that. And no matter how a manager sets up, Dave, if a goalkeeper lets you down, you can't prepare for that, to be honest. And like, I thought Melia was, for the first half an hour until the first goal in, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Everything was going through him from a Pat's point of view, and you can see how good he is. Like, I think Mason Melia's as good as it gets. Like, it's not just the goals, it's what he offers with his movement, his hold of play, and how smart of a footballer he is. But no, I think Pats will bounce back. I think it's inevitable that they will bounce back, especially when Europe starts to kick in. I think they could be like last year. That could be their turning point when they start playing European games and hopefully winning a couple of matches. And then they get a few more lads back from injury. But I think we know Dave, with the money they have behind them, Stephen Kenny will probably be demanding a few more signings in the transfer window, because Pat's fans are getting very frustrated. Stephen Kenny himself refused to do a post-match interview last night with the LOI TV after. So, yeah, it's looking bleak for Pats at the moment, but these things turn very fast. And as he said himself, they were in the relegation zone last year when he came in, and I think that'll change quite quickly.
He's reverting. I like Stephen Kenny. He's reverting the type there a little bit, isn't he? When the pressure's on, he's always like, remember with Ireland? Well, I when we were getting battered, and it all gone to shit with Ireland, and he was like, "Yeah, well, I did this," and he started bringing out his record. He kind of does that a lot, doesn't he? Well, I took him over. We were in a relegation zone. That was last season. With all due respect to Stephen, and I like Stephen Kenny, he's a fabulous League of Ireland manager. That was last season.
It'll turn around. I have no doubt it'll turn around. It's just a sticky point at the moment. It's just about not panicking.
No, of course. I mean, but they can't leave it too much longer, because now we're starting to see shape. We're starting to see this league really, really take shape, and they don't want to leave it too long, because Rovers, when they're in that form, Rovers were dreadful. Had a dreadful start last season, and people forget that. And Shelbourne they were just solid and steady throughout last season, and Shamrock Rovers were absolutely dreadful, and then they just made an absolute beast of it towards the end. So did Pats as well, to be fair.
Pats was a lot more impressive, in fairness. Shells kind of fell off at the end and nearly fucked it up on themselves, to be honest. It was more Shells and then Rovers were more solid as such, and Pats came out of nowhere. What was it, 14? It wasn't 14, was it?
It was
ridiculous games there, one in a row. Yeah, so the thing is, if you win that many games in a row in the League of Ireland, you have, especially this season, because everyone's been so inconsistent, you're going to win the league. If Pats go and win the next 10 in a row, I can guarantee that they'll win the league, because no one else is going to be doing that, because no matter what we think about Rovers being in the groove now, winning the last couple of matches and looking so impressive, they're liable to go play at the weekend against Derry at the Brandywell and lose 2-0, because Derry are a good side, and it's completely different mind frame going up to Derry and playing on that Astro. So I know we're saying, we could say Rovers are most likely to go on and probably win the league now, the way they are.
Well, it's early.
Yeah.
It's early. You are right. If one of these teams go on a run, one falls off a cliff and the other goes on a run, it just, if one goes off a cliff, one goes on a run, and a few other teams get patchy and start nicking points up each other, all of a sudden the table just turns completely on its head. And that's the beauty of the FAI. That's the beauty of the League of Ireland. Even last season, Shelbourne, they were, they did go a little bit. Derry fell off at the end. It was Derry and Shells for most of the season. Then all of a sudden Rovers came out, Pats came out of nowhere. Like it can happen. So you are absolutely correct. I am going to get absolute dogs abuse on WhatsApp.
But Bows are going to do it.
Bows are going to win it. Anyway, and then the final game, of course, from that match day 24, which of course coincides with the European teams, was a bit of a 0-0 bore draw. Shells at home to Drogheda. I mean, to be fair, Drogheda were the early pace setters of the league, if you'd call it that. And 0-0 draw, so they've kind of stopped the rot there. Any much to add on that game?
No, it's a bit of a bore fest. Drogheda done what Drogheda do, defend extremely well, keeping Shell's chances to a minimum, and Duff's Shells are kind of in a real rot at the moment. They can't win matches. They can't win big matches really either, and they're like, they play all right football. Like, they play probably nicer football than they played last year, to be honest. But it's kind of a clash of similar styles with Drogheda at times, that they both like to defend and hit teams in the counter, especially with the likes of Meepo and stuff on the break and Harry Wood. But no, it's not looking good for Shell at the moment. Obviously, I've said to him themselves, and Pats will probably strengthen a lot in the summer, and they kind of need it, because Shell's like a shadow of themselves. And I know Duff's probably going to think of ways to getting their confidence back. A lot of the players look shot of confidence, especially in front of goal. Really, they don't really look like scoring that much, and still the surface in Talca is still kind of a bit poor. And especially when you're playing a team like Drogheda, you kind of want a pristine pitch like Tala, where you can ping the ball about, pass them about, and make them work, rather than kind of the pitch being a bit mucky, and they can use their size advantage and the way they play to making the pitch as small as possible. But very good result for Drogheda, in fairness, picking up another good point away from home. And Shells, it's not the end of the world. They're not out of a title race as such, or I can't even say if the title race has even really started yet. But they have a lot to improve on, and I think they will. But it's just how long it'll come, Dave, before they start to improve. It's like they will improve eventually, but it's just how long will it take? Will it get to the stage where they're no longer in a title race or not?
No, absolutely. Before we get to the league table and the fixtures, of course, a bit of news, Conor, that you want to bring to us here. Go for it.
You bring it to us.
No, It's your news. I don't you accuse me of I don't you accuse me of stealing your thunder, your news stories as you.
It's not my story anymore. It's not my story anymore because it's official. But yeah, last month I had reported that Brodie Collins, cousin of Ireland captain, or you'd probably say vice captain if Seamus Coleman is there, has signed captain now, if you want to say, has signed for German club Schalke, which is a outstanding move for a young midfielder. He signed from Shamrock Rovers at their academy in Ireland under 16 international. He's going to a club, Dave, that has produced player after player over the years. Obviously, they're in the second division of Germany right now, which is never actually, when you think of it, it's not a bad thing for a young player to go into because it's still a excellent academy. The academy's not getting any worse. They're still producing player after player, and it makes it that little bit easier to break into a first team, to be honest, if you're going to go in there and try and break into a Bundesliga 2 side. But maybe by the time he gets into a first team picture, they might be back in the top tier. But yeah, excellent young player. Obviously it must run in the family with the way it is, and yeah, he'll probably have an excellent journey at Schalke. Hopefully it'll be the start of more and more. Obviously we've had the likes of Matthew Moore and Finn Sherlock going to Hoffenheim over the last couple of years. Hopefully he's might end up being one of many that plays at Schalke over the next while. I know we had Dan Rose there in the past, Dave, you remember the goalkeeper, but from he was in League of Ireland product, and it's always good to have a League of Ireland product, having that interest from a German giant as such. I know they're not giant in terms of football in terms of the moment, but off the pitch they're still one of the most well-known German clubs, and I think it's an excellent move for him. It's an excellent probably move for Shamrock Rovers as such. If you're going to lose an academy player, I know you're probably not going to get an amazing fee at that age, but you're going to have probably a very good sell-on clause that if he can make it at Schalke, they will benefit a lot more in the future rather than sell him to an Italian club or something that he's never going to make the breakthrough.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And best looks to you, Brodie Collins. We will be keeping an eye on you over the coming years, and I'm sure it's going to be a massive success. Actually, before we get to league tables, Conor, do you want to apologise to me?
Why?
I think you know exactly why. Not League of Ireland related, but I wasn't on to defend myself the live. But do you want to apologise to me about what you lot were saying about Seamus Coleman and what I?
What did you say?
I think I was proven right. You turned around and said, "Well, he didn't turn around and say that he come off."
You didn't because you got reissued on Twitter.
No,
you got reissued. You got reissued.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means when you put a comment and then someone puts the next comment, and then the response gets way more likes than what likes you put.
Oh, that's because you're your little pals. Yeah, the lad couldn't spell.
No,
your trails.
But that is not. Yeah, but that was something complete. That was nothing to do with me. That was because you acting like you predicted that he was going to go off injured after 18 months. No. But you never said that Seamus Coleman was going to go off injured in his last game for Everton at Goodison Park.
What I said was he cannot stay fit.
We knew that he could stay fit.
So going off after 18 minutes in a game.
No, but you didn't predict it. Never predicted.
I said.
No, you said you predicted it.
I didn't make a prediction, but again, but I said to you.
You can't say you predicted it.
I said to you, he cannot stay fit.
But you can't say you predicted something.
Let me finish. I said to you, he cannot stay fit. If he starts a game, his first game he started in a very long time, and only lasts 18 minutes because he goes off injured, that would equal he can stay fit.
No.
So therefore, I am correct. I'm not happy about it because I love Seamus.
I don't care what you said. Well done. You said he couldn't stay fit, but you acted like you predicted he was going off injured.
That's not what I'm saying.
But that's the way you worded it. It sounded very like that.
Semantics.
Semantics.
Absolutely.
No.
See, folks, that's what I'm up against. Semantics. I'm fighting a good fight.
You should have said, I apologize. You said, apologize. I worded that poorly. I should have said that I said he couldn't stay fit. Not that I made it out that I thought that he was going to go off injured after 18 minutes, which you never did.
I said he can't play 90 minutes. He can't. I was right.
Yeah, but doesn't mean you just said,
I said he
can't
play.
Said that.
No.
You can't just keep saying different words, ways of saying it. You said he can't stay fit.
I said he cannot. Yeah, and he can't. He lasted 18 minutes. So
what do you?
That's my argument. I won.
Well, no, you didn't.
Ding, ding, ding. Ring the bell. It's over.
So how come you got reissued? You're talking out of your arse.
I don't even know what that means.
What you got reissued?
Sounds like being raped by numbers or something. I don't know. Listen, you were wrong. I was right,
What?
and I
Go on.
think, and Bill as well. He was having a go. He was having a pop at me as well. Bill, if you're watching, I know you are. I was correct. You were wrong.
Well, you also
I
made a
deal with
prediction. You
facts.
said he was going to retire at the end of the season. You did say that, and you said he
He
won't
might
play
do.
for Ireland.
He might
No,
do.
he won't.
You don't know that. He turned
I
around and
do know
said
that.
he turned around and said you don't know that. David Moyes said, folks, I deal with facts.
Well,
This
you're
is
not.
what I deal with. I
You're
deal with
on,
facts.
and
And the
he's not
facts
retiring.
are David Moyes said he'll be here one way or another. Didn't say be a member of his playing staff.
Do you think he would have been crying after the game the other day if he was retiring? I think he would have been. He wasn't emotional at all, and he was talking about getting ready for going in or can't wait for the new stadium, moving into the new stadium. Seamus Coleman will be leading them out at Bramley-Moore Dock next season.
I hope he
And
does. Do you know what? I
and
hope he
he'll
does.
do it. And
I
then he'll
hope
be
he
leading us
does.
to the World Cup next summer, and you can stop whinging about that, and you can start pretending that you predicted all this stuff.
Conor, you've just been schooled again by the master. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say. You've just been schooled again. You and your ratios, whatever.
Well, you said you predicted. You said you predicted he came off after 18 minutes.
You are being pedantic now, and you know what you're doing. You're being pedantic.
You're talking out of your arse.
The point I made was absolutely correct, and yes, and you know you should just listen to me a lot more. So you see, Conor, if you listen to me a lot more,
Who's
you'd
the striker
learn.
for Shells?
We're moving on to the league tables. Odebeko.
Right, come on.
See? Listen and you learn. Anyway, we're going to move it on. We will be back live. We're going to be live on Sunday, Conor?
Don't know, to be honest. I don't
Martin's
know
away.
Don't
he is
know.
away.
I don't know anymore. I just don't know.
He doesn't know.
But we'll have a show out. We'll actually have a show out this week on Friday or something.
We will have another show. We'll have a special show. We're going to have an award ceremony, and then of course we will be live for the last game of the season. It is probably Sunday, but just check those socials, of course. But we will be live either Sunday or Monday. It's the last one of the season. Probably going to take a little break then after that with the lives, and then we will be back with the window. So it's probably not going to be that much of a break.
We won't have a break at all. I don't know what you're on about because it's going to be straight into international breaks.
So. Well, and then after that, be a little bit of break, like a week or something, you know. We have to go away and recharge, and poor Conor has to lick his wounds after getting an absolute hiding of an argument there. But anyway, let's move it on. Let's have a look at the standings. So, of course, Shamrock Rovers are top. Now, they've played 17 games, but they are on 32 points. Derry have only played 16. They're 27 points, 5 points behind them in second. Bows, third, also in 16 games, 27 points. Drogheda, they've played the extra game during the week. They are fourth on 26 points. St. Pat's, fifth. They played the extra game at 25 points. Very disappointing spell for them. But Shell's sixth, also played the extra game with 17 games. They have 23 points. Waterford are seventh, 16 games, 21 points. They were the form team, actually. They won, I think, like the last five, but they finally lost. Galway United in eighth. They are on 20 points. Haven't played 16 games. And Cork, ninth. Played 16 games. They have 12 points. They are level with Sligo, who still prop up the table. But my God, what a comeback from Sligo. They are now, same points, 12, but they're only minus one goal. So they have a goal difference of minus 10 as opposed to Cork City's minus 9. So they are right back in there. So relegation, definitely not guaranteed yet for Sligo. They're going down. They're going down with a fight if they go down at all. Let's take a look at the fixtures this weekend. Derry City at home to Shamrock Rovers. That's going to be a huge game. Conor reckons Derry City will probably do them 2-0. Who knows? You wouldn't know. Drogheda United at home to Bows, and Galway United at home to Cork City. Shelbourne will host Sligo Rovers. You think they'd get their league campaign back on track at home to Sligo, but you just don't know. They probably won't. They are spluttering at the moment. And then, of course, the big game on Virgin Media 2, which well, if you're in the Republic of Ireland, it'll be shown on Virgin Media 2. Worldwide, will be on League of Ireland TV, and that is St. Pat's host Waterford. And you'd like to think that Pats would get their campaign back up and running again, but they probably won't either, because it's a bit of a mad league.
No Dublin Derby, which is not too common these days. It's usually Dublin Derby every Friday night.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
No Dublin Derby this week. And anyway, we are going to leave it there. Conor, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching at home. Of course, please do remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Head over to a Facebook, Instagram, and a Twitter account. We will be back live Sunday or Monday. We're going to have a little chat off air about that. Just keep an eye on the socials. Any audio problems we've had with the Spotify is now being fixed. So if you think, oh, the last live wasn't on Spotify, it is now. So apologies about that. And head over to lansandroars.ie for opinion. And of course, you can get an audio version of this. And of course, the audio issues have been fixed. And just a reminder, obviously the upcoming international window, Conor and myself will be live over there in the grounds, reporting from the stadium, doing all the usual stuff that we normally do, Conor, don't we? You and I.
Yep.
He absolutely loves it. And of course, we got a couple of big interviews coming up over the next couple of weeks. Just waiting to finalise those. And Conor, you all right? You can probably keep your eyes open. Bless you. You still sore over that battering I gave him. They just, have a look. It's twice. I keep schooling. Yeah, that's right. Disappear. I keep schooling him on. When you do that, you actually take yourself off. But I keep schooling him on Seamus Coleman.
I know.
Yeah, I know. You didn't fucking know that about Seamus Coleman. Anyway, on that bombshell. By the way, Seamus, if you are watching, I do love Seamus Coleman, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully you are back. And hopefully you prove me completely wrong. Because unlike Conor, I will admit when I'm wrong. Anyway, this is Lands and Roar. You're absolutely lovely. This is the League of Ireland review, match day 16. We'll see you in the weekend. All the best.